New Hampshire gun rights. That's what we're talking about today because they have a little loophole around their constitutional carry statute. And joining me today to talk about this and unfold this story is field manager, New Hampshire field manager, Bill Gilmeister. Bill, how are you?
Awesome. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. And I want to talk about New Hampshire campus carry because there's all sorts of attempts at bringing campus carry to the table and pass it into law. Can you kind of break this down for us? Like, who's the author of these bills, and let's unpack this whole story.
Well, let's. I guess it's always once upon a time in New Hampshire, they passed constitutional carry, but prior to that, there were actually some statutes in their revised statutes that allowed government agencies, colleges and universities included, to establish policy without even writing any kind of regulation whatsoever, to establish policies with regard to carrying a firearm, either open or concealed. So fast forward to a little bit more recently with Sam Farrington, who filed the campus carry bill. And if you're interested in these numbers, HB 1793, which would have prohibited, it would have put it in state statute, it would have prohibited colleges and universities from restricting the carrying of firearms on college campuses.
And let me just interject here. So Sam Farrington has a great story, right? I mean, he found Young Americans for Liberty on a college campus. I'm assuming he got involved in that chapter. Maybe
University of New Hampshire, that's correct.
Yeah, became probably a leader within that chapter. Decided to heck with it. I'm going to run for office myself. He now serves in the House of Representatives in New Hampshire, and I think he's still in college, isn't he?
He just graduated, but while he was fighting the campus carry fight since 2025, he was in college, but he just graduated a week or two ago.
Nice. So that's like one of the success stories of Young Americans for Liberty. Find these kids in college, tell them about the Liberty movement, get them involved, get them trained, and here they are running off for state legislature and championing great bills like campus carry.
It is. It actually is a really, really great story. He's a really intelligent young man. I want to call him a kid, because he's a kid, but yeah. He's a young man, and yep. he is very articulate, and he spoke very strongly, not only on UNH college campus, but also in Dartmouth, where the college campus is and where he was residing. Often went to, I'm not sure, the town council there, where he would speak in favor of this campus carry bill, which of course the administration in Dartmouth was totally opposed to this thing. Yeah. They went to the hearing and just opposed it left and right. So very articulate, very strong fighter for Second Amendment rights for Granite Staters.
Yeah, well, we didn't plan this, but I've got a clip right here from Sam, and I don't recall what city he was in front of, but do you recall this when he went in front of, I think, a city council and passionately defended campus carry?
I'm pretty sure it would have been Dartmouth.
Okay, all right, let's play this thing because I'd have a little clip at the ready. Let's take a look at Representative Sam Farrington fighting for campus carry.
So when the town council passes a resolution opposing campus carry, you are tyrants. You are tyrants because you are stripping lawful adults of their individual rights. Rights that the Supreme Court has recognized time and time again. In 2008, it was in the Heller decision. In 2022, it was in the Bruin decision. Individuals have a natural right to bear arms.
It's not natural, sir. You're being ridiculous.
It is a natural right because natural rights transcend government. Natural rights come from God alone. And so what God gives, we cannot take away.
Could you be quiet, please?
What God gives, we cannot take away. But right now, that's what the university's doing. And so there's this survey going around from the Student Senate trying to kill the bill or whatever. But I want to make one thing clear for the record. Rights do not care what surveys feel. Rights are intended, and the whole reason why we have the Bill of Rights, it was to protect the minority. When the majority oppresses the minority, as this town council does.
How about that? I love it.
Alexis de Tocqueville.
What was that?
You know, the tyranny of the majority.
Yes,
And that's why we have the first 10 amendments.
Yep, he's got his Young Americans for Liberty T-shirt on. He's there repping the brand. He like just dismisses some hater in the crowd, and he calls these people out to their face. It's fantastic stuff for what, a 22, 23-year-old?
Yeah, I'm not sure how old he is. You know, that's really funny. I really don't know how old he is, but he can't be much better than 23 for sure, and probably 22. And you know, the other thing, and that is a striking video, and I'm glad you played that. I mean, if you watch him, he's barely looking at his notes.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he's got this stuff ingrained. You know, the Supreme Court decisions and all the other types of decisions that he was talking about, just ingrained. Just a really sharp and staunch defender. I mean, he was not about to let anyone in that crowd shout him down.
Yeah.
He maintained his ground and did a very nice job. And he did the same thing in the House when this came up for debate. I think it was February the 5th, a little bit earlier this year. He did the exact same thing, and he actually got some heckles from the other side of the aisle when he was debating. It was sort of funny, and they actually had to gavel the other side down and make him quiet down so he could say stuff. You know.
Yeah, so he drops House Bill 1793, a good hardcore bill as legislators should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ask for peanuts and settle for scraps. You ask for all of your liberties back. You demand it.
Right.
So
right.
How does this unfold? It was introduced in the House. It passes out of the House. Like, break this down for us.
So yes, he introduced it in the House, and again on February 5th. They debated it, and the House passed it. I can't remember the vote, but it was a strong majority party line vote. There might have been one Democrat that actually voted in favor of it, but it passed the House, and it went over to the Senate, where it sat for a good several weeks before the Senate Committee on Judiciary took it up. And the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Senator Gannon, I believe, is the chairman. Senator Carson, president of the Senate, also sat on that committee. And that committee voted it out as ought to pass as amended. Now, this is all complicated stuff. Ultimately, what they did is they added an amendment that gutted it and said, well, we're just going to study this over the summer.
Yeah.
Which was a kill. It's a kill motion. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. For those who don't know, like, the politicians love these studies, right? It lets them off the hook, and they can say, no, I didn't vote against it. I didn't kill it. We created a study to do some due diligence and really understand the issue. And really, they're buying time and they're dodging political pressure.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly it. And so it came to the floor of the Senate, and we had been putting pressure on the Senate leading up to the floor debate.
Yep.
You know, we didn't get any notice of when they were actually going to take it up. They did have a hearing, and of course, the lefties came out in spades and loaded up the committee. But you know, we had some good representation on our Second Amendment rights side of things to round out the hearing. But they didn't tell us when they were going to take it up, you know, and make a decision on what they were going to report out to the Senate. But once we figured out what they were doing, we pounded away at the Senate with some emails, and we took out some Facebook ads and a few other things, getting the senators aware that we were coming after them if they don't do the right thing.
Yeah.
And eventually, it appears as though our pressure had some effect, but it didn't have anywhere near the effect that we wanted. They came forward and defeated this study amendment and replaced it with a faculty carry amendment, as well as another study amendment. So they're basically saying, well, you know, faculty can carry, but we still got to study this the student thing, you know? I
Yeah, the
mean,
literal college professors, they can carry because I'm sure they are gonna run right out to their local gun shop
oh,
and
what do you mean
arm
run out to the
themselves.
gun shop? They already have them. You know, they're just waiting to carry them, right?
Yeah,
Wink, wink.
yeah,
Give me a
right.
break.
Yep.
But so anyway, so that came to the floor, and it was debated, and you know there were some of our friends kind of got out there and said, you know, I really don't like this thing, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Which of course we are like, no, it's a step in the wrong direction. We want campus carry as it was passed in the House. We don't want to be afraid of, you know, of getting arrested by just crossing the border onto a college campus. You know,
Yep.
I mean, I went up and visited up there, and you know, I'm carrying and I'm going to meet some students. You know, they
You
could
never
arrest
know.
you for doing that kind of thing. You
Yeah,
know,
my daughter's 18, so we've been touring college campuses. That's what you do, right? And it's confusing with am I on campus right now? Am I off of campus? Where's this darn border? And am I a felon if I step on campus, but I'm not if I'm 2 feet behind me? It's absurd, these weird lines that they get drawn. Your God-given rights, like we just watched Sam Farrington talk about, they don't
that's right.
apply on this property, but across the street, you're just fine.
That's right. So it came up in the Senate, and they didn't even take a roll call vote on it. It was a voice vote that passed in the Senate. It may have been a roll call. I can't remember, but nevertheless, that's the way it passed in the Senate. And so then, of course, it started in the House. So it goes over to the Senate, passed in the Senate. It's got to go back with an amendment. So
Yep.
it's now got to go back to the House for the House to decide whether or not it wants to accept that amendment or
Mhm.
reject it, which of course they did. They rejected the amendment, and then they asked for what's called a conference committee, where they appoint members of the House, and then they ask the Senate to do the same thing. And
Mhm.
if the Senate does that, they appoint some members, they get together, and they make a decision on what the bill is going to look like in the end.
Yep.
And the House did that. They sent it over to the Senate. Senator Gannon made a motion to reject the request for a conference committee, and thereby finally killing the campus carry bill, HB 1793.
Right. But then there's some other, I mean, it sounds like multiple swipes being taken at closing these loops.
So
So
there was a
some,
larger, yeah, I'm glad you bring that up, Eric. There's a larger question. As I started off, there is a loophole in the revised statutes of New Hampshire where government agencies can establish policies or rules associated with firearms within their jurisdiction.
Mhm.
So the Department of Transportation could restrict a plow driver from carrying his firearm, even if it's concealed, while he's driving a plow truck. And that would be okay. Well, the House again was attempting to fix this loophole that's in the revised statutes of New Hampshire, and they put forward a bill to make the legislature the sole authority that regulates firearms.
Mhm.
So you cannot, no agency anywhere, including college campuses, could regulate a firearm if this bill to give what's called preemptory authority of the legislature over firearms. That's House Bill 609. And so that bill has also been moving through the legislature, and it was also introduced once again by Representative Sam Farrington.
And so, well, today, when we're doing this, it's May 27th. And so, what they had a conference committee hearing today on House Bill 609, didn't they?
They did indeed. There is so again, you know, the House passed it as a clean bill, went over to the Senate, and the Senate put some amendments into it that basically stripped the language that said the legislature has sole authority over firearms. So they just ripped it right out of
Yeah.
there,
So
stuck it
clearly,
in there, and said, "Oh, they got to write a regulation," which is
yeah.
like, legislators speak for we're going to keep things just the way that they are.
Yeah. So clearly the Senate here is the weaker chamber. It's the lesser conservative chamber, right?
Very problematic in New Hampshire.
Yeah. Okay. And
Very
the live
problematic.
free or die state, right?
Granite staters, and the people's house, the legislature, the House of Representatives with 400 members, the largest House of Representatives in the country, and some folks even say in the world, passes this thing, and then 24 members of the Senate refuse to move it forward. So
Yeah.
they strip the language, send it back over to the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives asked for a conference committee. This time, the Senate approved the conference committee. And so now today, that conference committee, made up of 4 members of the House of Representatives and 3 from the Senate, met this morning. Now, we had been putting pressure on these folks, Eric, over the past handful of days to say, you have to pass. Do not allow the Senate amended bill to move forward. Kill it. I mean, we'd rather have the bill dead than to allow the status quo, to allow things to stand the way that they are, hopefully sending the message that ultimately we want the House version of this thing.
Yep.
So they met today. We were putting pressure on them, and they recessed before making a decision until tomorrow. So tomorrow they're going to make they're going to take it up once again. Now from here, Eric, what they have to do is give a conference committee report, which goes to both chambers, and both chambers will vote up or down. They can't change the report, so they're going to do something with this thing probably tomorrow. And of course, what we want them to do at this point is just kill it, because it's got this Senate amendment associated with it.
So for the average like political observer that's watching this and going, come on, guys, like incrementalism is just fine. Who cares if it's watered down a little bit? Take the win. Take the win, Bill. What is the harm if you just take the win versus killing the bill?
There isn't any win here. That's the real thing. There isn't even any incrementalism. I mean, remember with the campus carry, they at least were willing to give faculty the right to carry on campus. This, they can do anything they want. So it's no win at all. This is a total defeat.
And I would add on to that, the reason why that's kind of a good rule is because if you let them water this thing down and they pass 609 out of conference committee and both bodies happen to pass it again, is you give these people political cover. You give these bad actors in the Senate the ability to say, no, we fixed that issue. So you take that issue off the game board. They dodge accountability. They give themselves political cover to say, look at me, how great I am. I passed this pro-gun bill. I'm 100% pro-gun. No, we would rather them kill this thing.
That's right.
Versus giving themselves political cover. That's the danger that I see.
That is the real danger. And because this is just as bad as the original, as where things stand right now, if not worse. There are some folks out there that believe that this, if the Senate amended version actually moves forward and gets passed and is signed by the governor, it'll actually make things worse. So no, it's a bad thing.
So if you're in New Hampshire and you're wondering, well, what can I do? I want to call these guys. I want them to pass this thing cleanly and reject the Senate's version. What can folks do?
Well, they should contact conference committee members and let them know very clearly that you want them to kill this bill. You want to stop. You want to make the legislature the sole authority. You want to call them and tell them to kill the Senate amended bill. That's what you want to do.
Yeah. So we've got the contact information here. As you said, you got 3 Senate members, 4 House members. There's phone numbers in there for you. Call these people up. Tell them kill House Bill 609. That we'd rather kill this thing versus giving these people political cover. So what do you think looking forward? I mean, do we revisit Campus Carry next year in New Hampshire? I'm assuming that's a resounding absolutely.
Absolutely, all of the above. I mean, and Representative Farrington has already gone out there and said, "This is we are going to continue this fight next year." So it's clearly coming back, and we're going to continue to fight because we just have to continue to be vigilant, protect our rights, and get them back where they should be, because the gun grabbers have been at this for a long time and we need to stop them. We need to take back ground, and we're not going to stop until we get our ground back.
I love it. And so another quick thing I just want to throw out to everybody is you're dealing with politicians here. These people make political decisions. And in order to make an informed political decision, you got to call these people up and make sure they understand, wait a minute, I'm going against the will of the people. The reason Bill brought up that there's 400 members in the state house there in New Hampshire is because that means they are closest to the people. Each one only represents, I think, what, 400 people, Bill?
Oh, it's a little more than that, but it's a very small number of people relative to everywhere else in the country. I think it's more like it's like 3,900. It's actually quite a good size, and it kind of depends on where they are and how things broken down. But
They're the closest to the people, right? I mean,
they
if they
are
only
very, very
represent
close. Yeah,
4,000 people.
I asked a former legislator one time, why do you guys do that? Because of course, if you go to the House and watch a session, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun. I like watching them, but it's just a crazy thing. Why do you do that? And the answer is because we believe that the people need to speak through the people's house.
yeah,
And that's why they do it that way. That's why there's so many. And when you think about it, that is really, really true. So, but that means that you, the viewer in New Hampshire, need to communicate with those conference committee members and let them know what you want them to do.
absolutely. So I'll end this way. I always end this, and it's such a perfect kind of segue. If you're tired of being politically ignored, if you're tired of being politically disrespected, if you want to be politically respected, you must be politically feared.